do you keep track of the financials for your business? I wanted to show you a quick, simple little way that you can keep track of all of those bits and pieces of your business. So when you get to the end of your year, your financial tracking year, and you have to do your taxes, it's not going to be a nightmare and you're not going to pull your hair out. Now, before we get started, let me say this is a super simple system. If your business is, a pretty big business, you're paying a lot of people, you have a lot of moving pieces, then you may want to graduate up to, something like QuickBooks. But this is a system that I've come up with that it's just easy to track your day-to-day expenses so that you're not leaving money on the table, so to speak, at the end of tax year. So, first of all, let me just explain, this is an Excel spreadsheet. Excuse me. You can make a copy of it and use as a Google in their sheets if you want. I'm a Microsoft girl, so Excel is what I use. Now let me say this, you don't have to be a financial wizard, you don't even have to be an Excel wizard to use this. It's pretty easy, but I do want to bring out a couple of things just so you can kind of retain the integrity of the spreadsheet. First of all, I tell you, so if we look down here at the very bottom, the very first tab says start here, and it just has some general directions for you. I tell you, make a copy of the spreadsheet first. So if we look up here, you'll notice it says copy. So I've made a copy of it, and so now as I work in this, if for some reason I mess it up, I've got the original I can go back to. And then the next thing I'm telling you is the second tab called template is basically the template that you're going to put all of those ongoing monthly expenses, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then when you do add things to this spreadsheet, just try to keep all of your changes in columns A through D. And again, I'm going to demonstrate all of this, so just sit back and watch. The beauty of this spreadsheet is it will total up all of your expenses. Now it does a big picture, it doesn't break it down by all these separate little categories. That would take a little more of the Excel technology to do that. So let me just show you how it's set up. So I'm going to click on this second tab down here called template, and when I click on that, it just has kind of the initial basics that you might have in your business. You might have web page, internet service, phone service, your email server. Maybe you pay for a landing page or a calendaring system. You might be paying a VA a certain amount each month, and so forth. And then if you look down here at the bottom on row 35, it's totaling everything that you have here. Now this is your template. Now if I jump over to January, it's identical. February, March. So it starts the month out with those basic expenses that you have. Well, let's go back to the template, and you're looking at this and you think, well, my business, I don't have those expenses, but I have other expenses. So first thing you need to do is modify this template page. So I'm going to show you a little workaround. Down here with all of these tabs, if you right mouse click where it says template, notice where it says select all sheets. I'm going to click that, and then all of my sheets are selected. So anything that I type on this template sheet is going to get carried over. So let's do an example here. So I'm just going to click, I'm on like line 12, just a row 12. So you can see that I'm going to add something. And let's say you sign up for my membership site, the CEO Academy. How's that for a little shameless plug? And every month that's a $39 fee. So I'm just going to add that. Now, because all my sheets are still selected, I'm done with that. So I'm going to click off. So if I just click on any of these tabs down here, it takes me off of that, so all the sheets aren't selected. And now look here on line 12 for January, the membership site CEO Academy. If I go to February, same thing. March, same thing. And all the way down. I just have to make these a little smaller so you can see them. Okay, so does that make sense what I'm saying? So the first thing you'll do is make a copy of your worksheet. Then the second thing you'll do, you'll go to the template worksheet. You'll right mouse click, select all sheets. I'm going to jump off of that so it doesn't select them. And then you'll just type what your monthly ongoing expenses are. So we all have different things that we use in our business. So capture them here so that you don't have to worry about it. And then how do you use this worksheet? So I'm going to hop over to March. So let's say in March, and it doesn't really matter which line you put it on as long as it's above this total line. So let's say I just bought an ebook on Amazon about funnels. I mean, you can type whatever you want. You can put the date on it if you want. So this is March. I don't even know what the date is anymore. I can put the date there, and that book was $9.95. Okay. And you'll notice down here at the bottom, it gives me the totals. So it just is continuing to give me that ongoing total. The reason that I love using this spreadsheet, I can't remember if I said it already or not, I keep the spreadsheet open all the time. Then every time I have an expense, I just jump right on it and I put that expense in. Or let's say I've run out, I've gone to the post office. As soon as I come back, I've got that little receipt in my hand and I just enter it in here so that I don't forget about it later. I actually keep mine up in my OneDrive account because if I'm out and about, if I'm working at another office, I still have access to the spreadsheet. But again, I just keep it open on a tab on my browser because it's always there, and it just makes it so easy. So again, it's a little system because, you know, I preach the systems. It's that little system that I've created, and then I never have to think about it again. Now, let me show you the real beauty. So if I come all the way over here to the end, you'll notice that there's something called yearly totals. So let me click on that. So here, if I click on yearly totals, look what's happening. So on January, it shows me my expenses, and then it keeps an ongoing list here. So let me just jump back over. Let's jump back over to March, and let me add something really big. I don't know. Let's say that you signed up for Kartra's marketing program and you bought the annual. I can't remember how much the annual plan is. I think it's $8.99 for the annual plan. So now notice for March, our total now is $12.81. So let me hop back over here to our yearly totals, and under the yearly totals, notice up here under March, see how it's updated that. So isn't that beautiful? So each month you just continue to add your expenses, and at the bottom of the month it will give you a running total, and then if you come over here to your yearly totals, it will give you a running total there. And then the other thing is, and again, this is manual, it's just, you know, it's nothing sophisticated, but you know, let's say you get receipts from PayPal, or you get your receipts from Stripe, wherever it is that you're generating income. Just on this last page here, you just manually put those in. Okay, so let's say that these are the income, and you know, let's pretend like it's past March now, and my income for March was that. And then notice what's happening down here. It's keeping a running total of both your expenses and your income. And the real beauty is down here, it'll show you a profit loss. Okay, so if this were reversed, so let's say you're just getting started. So now we're in the hole. Let's say we just started for the year, we're in the hole, and it's showing us that. Again, it's, this isn't a sophisticated system, but maybe that's why I like it, because it's just super simple to capture those quick little expenditure items that you're spending in your business, so that you make sure at the end of the year, again, we just click on yearly totals and it gives us a breakdown. Now, I'm going to show you another tab here. After yearly totals, there's something called annual expense. So sometimes it's a better deal if you buy the annual plan instead of the monthly plan. So for instance, I use Kartra. I talk about Kartra all the time, and I also use Webinar Jam. And I purchase those on an annual basis because it's cheaper for me. And so what I've done is I put the date here so that I know when it's going to be renewing, just to kind of remind me so that I'm, not shocked by it. And then I have it. So technically, if both of these were annual plans, if we go back over here to my template, let's say I started out the year using Kartra, and then later I switched to the annual plan, then you would just, you'd want to take that off of, from that month going forward. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, so the information on this sheet, it doesn't get tallied and carried any other place. It's just a place for you to keep track of those annual expenditures, and most importantly, the date. Okay. And one other thing I was going to point out here, remember when we were on the template sheet and we did a right mouse click to select all of our tabs. Notice what it did. It also added that here, which is fine. You can just press delete, and you're good to go. All right. So I hope that makes sense. Again, just to recap, when you get it, as I said in the instructions here, first start by making a copy, and then after that, go to your template, do a right mouse click, add any of the items that you have as an ongoing expense, and then click off of it. And then from there, each month, just enter in the information, your expenses, and you're good to go. So I hope this was helpful to you. If you're not in one of my private groups or my coaching programs, just to let you know that you're welcome to join my Systems to Scale Your Business Facebook group, where I do more in-depth training. And then also, if you would like a free assessment call to see if there's certain areas of your business that we could streamline by setting up some systems, then click that, and I would love to help you. All right, take care.